Hang on a second. Trying to get this figured out here. I promise we're good.
Well,
Hang on a minute.
I
We'll
can
get
hear
there.
you at least. I can
We'll
hear
get.
you.
You can hear me. Hang
Yeah.
on one second. We'll get this all figured out. I promise. It's the art of technology here. Let's see. Let's just do this, and let's see what we come up with here. All right. Hang on. Please stand by. Let's see if this does it here. Gotta love, because now I've lost my screen altogether. Let's see. Yeah, it is.
Well,
Let me do this. Let me hop out real fast, and I'll join you again in 1 second.
all right. So thank you for joining me at least. Chris will be right back with some technical difficulties. Um, we've been a busy day today, so we're trying to, stay focused, and we kind of ran short on time. Oh, look what we got here.
Hey,
All right, you're not looking at the camera though. Let's look
I
at
know.
All right,
What's wrong? All right.
interesting. Well, I'm glad
You
that
know,
we're here.
so am I. The art of technology. We'll get it right. All right.
Well, I'll get it right.
Well, that's a fair point.
So we're going to make this quick, short. We're going to stick it under 10 minutes again. We don't have all day. But what I did want to talk about first, and one of the biggest things that I noticed on some resumes, and I've helped some people lately with helping with their changing their resumes, is to eliminate the word manage and change it to the word leave. And one of the biggest reasons for that is we manage things, we manage supply chains, we manage products, we manage our time, we manage things like that. But we lead people, we lead teams, we lead them into battle if we have to. We don't manage them into battle. So I actually went and took a couple people's resumes, changed the word manager to leader, changed the word manage to lead, and actually I did that for 4 people, and those 4 people all have interviews coming up. So, it's one of those descriptive action words that should be on a resume as opposed to the non-descriptive words that just kind of don't make sense. Um, and Chris, what about you? What have you figured out this week, if you would?
Yeah, it's about relocation. And hear a lot about it, of course. We've known it for years, but we've seen it where, unfortunately, the conversation sometimes is not had about relocation with family members or spouses, what have you, until the job offer already comes in.
Right,
That's probably
right.
a little too late. Couple things to think about. This is a conversation when it comes to relocating, whether it's time to make that relocation or not, that should be had long before then. And a couple things to kind of look at. First, think of it big picture. Are there certain areas of the country you could see yourself? If you're a big city person, you may not want to be out in the middle of Montana, for example. That's step one. Think, of course, about talking with your partner about this. What does that mean? Are they open to relocating? There's a lot of unknowns. Things like, can they find a job in that area? They're also going to lose their support network they have had. Are they okay with that? Of course, if you have kids, talk to the kids about it. It can be scary for some kids because they're not used to having to make new friends and maybe changing schools. Other kids may like it. You may want to talk to them about what that impact is. Again, you're not necessarily going to give the kids the veto capability like you would your spouse, but it's good to make them feel involved.
Right.
Also, think about it from a career development standpoint. Now, twofold to this. What will this look like for your career path? Again, big picture, looking at your resume, it tells a story. What chapter does this relocation tell? And at the same time, while in many cases you're going to see a salary bump or promotion as part of the relocation, not always though, what's next? So you take this job, what's the next big picture, of course? Same time, of course, is there an escape hatch? Let's say you move to this particular job and it's just not working out for you. Do you have a way out? Is there a back pedal you can go to? And then lastly, of course, is seeking advice. But make sure you're mindful who you get that advice from. Asking the mother-in-law who's about to have her daughter or son relocate across the country is probably not the most unbiased opinion when it comes to whether you should make that relocation or not. And I guess the uber last thing is don't overthink it. If it's good for your family, if it's good for good for your job, if it's a good move overall, trust that gut.
And I do think now is the time that people need to consider it, because some markets are so devastated, as most markets are, but some markets are going to come back before others. So being totally devastated, and if you're here in Akron and there's not a lot going on, maybe it's time to move to Columbus or Cincinnati or something like that that might make sense, and it doesn't take you cross country. Although we do come in the hospitality industry, and so many of them, as Troy Whelan put on LinkedIn today, his former boss told him actually to keep a ticket in his back pocket, because you never know when or where your next opportunity is going to come from. So it's actually a great idea for that. And lastly, before we go a little bit off the air, but this one's pretty important because everybody is actually getting interviews right now, or at least some people are. And so when the recruiter or the HR manager, whoever replies back to you, you want to make sure that you tell them the best time for you. But here's the trick. Here's the tip. The best time to schedule an interview is around 10 a.m. on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. The interviewer is in the best frame of mind at this time. And researchers have shown that you want to avoid Mondays and Fridays. Of course, Mondays, they're catching up over the weekend. Fridays, they might be checked out. So, and you also want to avoid that lunchtime and then late afternoon when, some people might be watching the clock and is it 5 o'clock yet? And I know in the hospitality industry it's kind of tough because, a lot of those people don't worry about that time, but they do when it comes to, that. So couple Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 10 a.m. in the morning, probably the best time, maybe 11, anytime before lunch. Get them when they're top of their head, and honestly, it's best for your interview. And then it also prepares you, because I know after I eat a big lunch, I kind of doze off and fall asleep at my desk. But that is what it is, right? So, any last words, Chris, before we jump out of here?
Yeah, bottom line is, again, just have a plan. Both when it comes to the title, when it comes to your relocation, and when it comes to the time to schedule interviews or calls. Again, just having that plan and be intentional with what you do. I think you'll find you'll be most successful.
All right. Thank you. You guys have a wonderful day, and thanks for joining us.